And then in terms of the midfielders, but more in a more attacking sense, right? So you're attacking midfielders. You've got Umtu Shabalala, you've got Mfundo Vilagazi, you've got Oshonolo Matlo, and yes, let's go with those three.
Yeah, keep. Matlo hasn't been as consistent. But I mean, with the displays, I mean, Obrigado is being phased in more and more. He's playing more games as the time goes. They're being patient with him, and that's why there's no issues with him being available for the under 20s because he's just available because not playing as often as Abombokazi, Tiwani. But I think keep him is one for the future. I think the confidence on the ball, and when the things do come off, you see the talent. You're like, okay, this is what the hype is about, right? Umdu still needs to refine his game to go up another level, Jay, because I don't think Uti Orel is that much better. But when you look at their seasons, he looks like he's that much better of a player. But in seasons prior, I've seen him play better for Chiefs, and I think if he gets to those levels with support around him, he's going to be a very good ace in that pack. Umatlo, I think he's got some stability. He's not as offensive as those two, but I think he'll give you something solid because sometimes you need a utility player who'll keep things the same and give you shape. So keep all three.
I'd keep all three as well. I wonder about Matlo though. Rather, I wonder about one of the three because in thinking of raising the floor at Kaizer Chiefs, you're thinking that the signings you need to make are guys who are able to go straight into the starting lineup. And when you think about those three attacking midfielders, not one of them has really locked down the position whereby you think of them as maybe a national team player. You know, that if you're bringing somebody in that position, they're definitely going to be sitting behind them because that guy, like you think of Tawakel, he's got his name cemented in the starting lineup, and I wonder if you can carry all three. So if there is somebody who's being brought in who is better, and by better maybe also it's a question of just being at a more advanced stage of development than M2, because I also like M2, and seeing Vilagaz with the under 20s is a reminder that Vilagaz is actually very good, you know. So I think if you have to ship one, it would be Matlo because previously he's had his injury problems, and you think that there is a greater future in investing in the other two. But if there's no 10 coming in, I keep all three as well. And then in terms of a more attacking sense, the wingers and then the forwards, Chuck, we've got Pulemori, you've got Gaston Sereno, Teboho Potsani, you've got Maccabi Lepo, you've got Ashley Dupree, of course, and you have Tashreeq Morris, recently signed, and Wandile Duba, as well as Oranga Chivaviro.
Ranga out, Morris
I don't
out.
know you're going to start there. not even a consideration. Hey, Ranga Wadan to course.
It just hasn't worked. We've given him time. We've tried to play all sorts of styles. It doesn't quite help. Outside the box, doesn't quite control the ball. In the box, his finishing is woeful. Ranga out. Potsane out as well. Dupree at some point. Yeah, he's got the speed, but what do you get after that, right? Dupree out because the whole point is to raise the ceiling and to make the team better. Gaston Sereno, you keep him better, but you keep him because he makes the attacking line better. But you have to speak to him because sometimes I feel that in this team,
to him. He is who he is at this point.
Yeah, because it feels
like he's
like
going to continue acting that way, which is toxic for the team.
And it's not hard to see, Che. Whether you're in the stadium, you see it. Whether you're watching on TV, you see that he does not trust the players around him because the best option is him. And yeah, sometimes that's a deterrent.
And then he's got the attitude. Right?
Yeah,
he's fighting refs, or he's when his blood boils a bit, like he's doing things he's not supposed to be doing, like rash tackles or pushing other players, and you feel like you're always on the edge of playing with 10 men because of his temper.
To add to that, then I'd say this. If they're signing players and they get better players around him, then you can let him go because it's an attitude that you don't need. But for as long as you've got the players you have, you need him sometimes because he brings that quality. And so as a result, you take all the other nonsense that he brings to the table. Modi, I like the industry, but he's also in the same boat as Dupree sometimes. You get into the positions, you get into the build-ups, but when it counts, you don't have the right pass, you don't have the right finish. So in raising the ceiling, you have to be ruthless sometimes. I think this is a ruthless call. Modi out as well.
Wow, Modi has been Chiefs' best player in 2025.
If you want to raise the ceiling,
but he's 32.
You see, that's another. How much more can he give you when he's looked this way? Because best, Jay, yes, he's their best player, but what does he look like compared to everyone else in the league? There are better players who can do a bit more, I think, in that jersey. Sullivan, Jay,
You've got Utuba
Slovenia. Dubai, I definitely keep.
and
Yes.
Tashrik Morris.
I-
Yeah, I agree with that, Chuck. And where Modi is the one that I was hung up on because, as I'm saying, I feel has been Chiefs' best player in 2025, and yet the coach has sometimes just made the decision not to play him, even though he's the most informed player in the team, right? But at 32, I think you can still get a fee for him in the PSL. He's still got some years in him left, and if he was 25, it's a totally different conversation we're having, right? And I think he's got some value, and I imagine Chiefs would want to offload some players, get some money in for them before they make other transfers, and then the rest of the other forwards and wingers in terms of keeping them and letting them go. Fully agree with you.